Let me ask you a question. What's the most powerful move you can make after a breakup? Is it sending a perfectly crafted message? Pouring out your feelings for one last heart-to-heart? Trying to prove your worth or even making them jealous? No, it's none of that. The truth is, the most powerful move you can make is the one most people never consider. It's silence. Silence speaks louder than words. It's not just the absence of communication, it's a deliberate choice. A choice to protect your energy, to regain your power, and to send an unshakable message. I value myself too much to chase anyone. But silence isn't just about ignoring someone or playing hard to get. No, it's much deeper than that. Silence is a tool, a weapon. It's rooted in the timeless teachings of Stoicism, where mastering your emotions and controlling your reactions are seen as the ultimate signs of strength. Silence allows you to reclaim control over yourself, and in doing so, you shift the power dynamic in your favor. Think about it. After a breakup, what does everyone expect you to do? They expect tears, pleading, messages saying, "Can we talk?" or "I just want to understand." They expect emotional outbursts because that's what most people do. It's predictable. But when you go silent, you break the pattern. You become unpredictable. And in that unpredictability lies an incredible power. Here's the reality. Silence isn't weakness. It's confidence. It's a refusal to engage in drama or beg for attention. It says, "I don't need you to validate me. I don't need to explain myself. My actions, or lack thereof, speak for me." This approach isn't just based on emotional strength. It's backed by ancient philosophy and modern psychology. The Stoics, for example, believed that true power comes from mastering yourself, not others. They taught that your energy should never be wasted on things outside of your control, like someone else's opinions, emotions, or actions. And silence? That's the ultimate act of self-mastery. But here's the twist. Silence doesn't just help you, it also has a profound effect on the person who left you. That silence becomes an echo in their mind. They start to wonder, why aren't they reaching out? Have they moved on? Did they ever really need me? Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to sit with their own emotions while you regain your power in the background. So, in this video, we're going to uncover the true power of silence after a breakup. We'll explore how silence helps you heal, how it creates a magnetic energy around you, and how it puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. These are lessons inspired by Stoicism and sharpened by the insights of modern psychology. But before we dive in, I want you to make a declaration. If you're serious about stepping into your power and breaking free from emotional chaos, drop a comment below with the phrase, "My silence is my strength." Let the world know you're reclaiming your energy. And while you're here, make sure to like this video. Not only does it support this channel, but it also helps spread this message to others who might need it. Together, we can build a community of strength, resilience, and growth. Now let's begin the journey into the art and the power of silence. Number 1. Why silence is key. Silence after a breakup isn't just about avoiding communication, it's about reclaiming control over the one thing that truly belongs to you, your mind. To understand why silence is so powerful, we need to dig deeper into the principles of Stoicism and the way the human mind works. Let's start with the Stoics. They taught us that there are two things in life: what you can control and what you can't. You can't control how your ex feels. You can't control whether they come back, whether they miss you, or even whether they regret leaving. What you can control is how you respond, and silence is the ultimate response. When you go silent, you're not just walking away from the relationship, you're walking away from the chaos, the endless overthinking, the temptation to send just one more text, the toxic loop of replaying what went wrong and wondering if they're happier without you. Silence shuts the door on all of that. But here's the real magic. Silence creates space. And in that space, two powerful things happen. First, you begin to heal. When you stop chasing answers or trying to change someone's mind, you create the mental clarity you need to move forward. Silence becomes your sanctuary, a place where you can process your emotions without interference. Second, your silence speaks volumes to your ex. People expect noise after a breakup, emotional messages, attempts to explain, even anger or bitterness. But when you give them nothing, it disrupts their expectations. Suddenly, you're not the person they thought you were. You're not desperate. You're not predictable. And that, my friend, is intriguing. Here's where the psychology kicks in. The human brain hates loose ends. When someone goes silent, it creates a gap in the narrative. A gap your ex will instinctively try to fill. They'll start asking themselves questions. Why haven't they reached out? Are they over me? Were they stronger than I realized? Your silence forces them to confront the possibility that you've moved on, even if you're still healing. And let's not forget this: silence is dignity. Every time you resist the urge to send a text or check their social media, you're choosing yourself. You're saying, I'm worth more than this. I don't need anyone's permission to be at peace. So why is silence the key? Because it's the perfect combination of Stoic wisdom and psychological strategy. It allows you to take back control, focus on your own growth, and shift the power dynamic in your favor. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below and say it loud: I choose control over chaos. Let's make that commitment together. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. It's one small action that helps us reach more people who need this message. In the next section, we're going to explore how silence doesn't just help you, it also works on your ex's mind in ways they don't even realize. You won't want to miss this part. Let's keep going. Number 2. Emotional detox. Breakups are like storms. They leave chaos in their wake. Anger, sadness, confusion, regret. All these emotions swirl together, pulling you into a mental and emotional hurricane. But silence? Silence is the eye of the storm. It's the calm space where you can finally start to see clearly. Here's why silence is so critical for your emotional detox. After a breakup, your emotions are heightened. Your brain is flooded with stress hormones like cortisol, which drive you to act impulsively, texting them, stalking their social media, replaying arguments in your head. It's natural, but it's also destructive. Silence becomes your antidote to this chaos. When you stay silent, you're hitting the pause button. You're giving yourself a chance to step back from the emotional battlefield and begin processing what's happened on your own terms. You're not reacting, you're reflecting. And this is where the Stoic principle of apatheia comes into play. The Stoics believed in maintaining a calm, unshakable state of mind, no matter what life throws at you. Silence allows you to practice this. It gives you the space to focus on your inner world, on rebuilding your emotional foundation without interference. Think of it as hitting the reset button on your mental health. But there's another layer to this. When you stay silent, you break the addictive cycle of contact. Every text you send, every time you check their Instagram, you're feeding the emotional attachment. It's like scratching a wound. It feels good for a moment, but it only makes the pain last longer. Silence is how you let the wound heal. And let's talk about clarity. When you're in constant communication, or even just obsessing over the idea of reaching out, you're too close to the situation to see it clearly. Silence creates distance, and with that distance comes perspective. You start to see the relationship for what it was, not what you wanted it to be. This isn't just about avoiding pain, it's about transforming it. In silence, you gain the opportunity to reflect on the lessons the relationship taught you. What did you learn about yourself? What patterns do you need to break? What boundaries do you need to set in the future? Silence isn't just an escape, it's a chance to grow. Remember this: The person who is silent after a breakup isn't weak. They're recalibrating, they're detoxing, they're transforming pain into power. And that transformation, it's the most valuable gift you can give yourself. If you're ready to take that first step toward emotional clarity, let me know in the comments by writing, "I choose healing over hurt." Make it a declaration of your strength and growth. And if you're finding this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. It's a simple action, but it sends a powerful ripple out into the world. In the next section, we're going to uncover how silence doesn't just heal you. It creates an undeniable shift in your ex's perception of you. Stay tuned. Number 3. Control through absence. Let me share a secret with you. Sometimes the most powerful way to influence someone isn't through your presence. It's through your absence. After a breakup, silence becomes your weapon and absence becomes your stage. Together, they create an undeniable force that reshapes how your ex sees you and how you see yourself. Why is absence so effective? It's simple. People only truly notice what they've lost when it's gone. While you were in the relationship, you were always there. Your attention, your care, your presence. But when you go silent and remove yourself completely, it creates a void. And human nature abhors a void. Here's where dark psychology comes into play. When you're no longer accessible, your ex's mind starts to work against them. Suddenly, they don't have access to your energy, your thoughts, or your emotions. They start wondering, what are they doing? Are they thinking about me? Have they already moved on? That curiosity plants a seed of doubt, a seed that grows stronger with every passing day of your silence. Absence disrupts their sense of control. If you've always been the one to reach out, to fix things, to offer reassurance, your silence feels like a sudden shift in the power dynamic. It forces them to sit with their own emotions instead of relying on you to soothe them. This is powerful because it puts you back in control, not by manipulating them, but by choosing to focus on yourself. And here's the Stoic side of it. Control isn't about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself. Absence isn't just about making someone miss you, it's about proving to yourself that you don't need them to feel whole. It's about saying, I'm not going to waste my energy on someone who doesn't value it. But let me be clear, silence and absence aren't about playing games. This isn't about making your ex jealous or manipulating their emotions. It's about stepping away from the noise to protect your peace. It's about showing that your value doesn't decrease just because someone else failed to see it. Here's a powerful truth. The person who can walk away is always stronger than the person who clings. When you choose silence, you're saying, I am not afraid to lose you because I have not lost myself. That's the kind of energy that commands respect, whether your ex admits it or not. So, how do you harness the power of absence? It starts with boundaries. No checking their social media. No responding to their texts. No giving in to the temptation to explain yourself. Instead, use that time to invest in yourself, your passions, your growth, your peace. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments with the phrase, I am stronger in my absence. This is your declaration of independence and strength. And while you're at it, hit that like button. It's a small act, but it sends a big message that you're choosing growth over chaos. In the next section, we're going to talk about how silence helps you preserve something invaluable, your dignity. Let's keep going. Number 4, maintaining dignity. After a breakup, emotions are high, and the temptation to act out of character is stronger than ever. You might feel the urge to send a long message explaining your side of the story. Maybe you're tempted to lash out or even beg for another chance. But here's the truth. Every time you act on these impulses, you chip away at something priceless. Your dignity. Dignity is your shield. It's what keeps you standing tall even when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. When you choose silence, you protect that shield. You refuse to give your ex, or anyone else, the satisfaction of seeing you lose control. The Stoics had a word for this: euthymia, a sense of self-assured calm, knowing you are on the right path. Dignity is about trusting yourself enough to know that you don't need to plead, explain, or convince anyone of your worth. Your silence says, "I respect myself enough to walk away with my head held high." Now, let's talk about how silence preserves your dignity on a psychological level. When you react emotionally, whether it's through angry texts, desperate calls, or public displays, you're giving your power away. You're showing your ex that they still have control over your emotions. But when you stay silent, you're signaling that their actions no longer define you. You've taken the reins. Here's another layer to consider. Silence prevents regret. Think about it. How often do we say things in the heat of the moment that we wish we could take back? Words spoken out of anger or sadness rarely reflect our true selves. But when you choose silence, you give yourself the gift of time. Time to process, time to reflect, and time to respond, or not respond, with dignity intact. And don't forget, silence also sends a powerful message to your ex. It shows them that you're not willing to stoop to drama or lose your composure. It forces them to see you as someone who values themselves too much to beg for attention. And that's unforgettable. But here's the key. Maintaining your dignity doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It's okay to feel hurt, to cry, to process the pain. But do it privately. Your silence outwardly protects your dignity, while inwardly giving you the space to heal. If you're ready to prioritize your dignity, I want you to drop a comment right now that says, "I protect my peace and my power." Let the world know that you refuse to let anyone strip you of your self-respect. And if you're finding value in this video, take a second to hit that like button. It's a small action, but it supports this channel and helps others discover this message of strength. In the next section, we'll explore how silence can become your ultimate strategy, shifting the balance of power in ways you may not have imagined. Stay tuned, it's about to get even deeper. Number 5. Silence as a strategy. Silence isn't just a passive act, it's a strategy. After a breakup, it's easy to feel powerless, like the other person holds all the cards. But what if I told you that silence is your way of flipping the script? What if I told you that by saying nothing, you can shift the entire dynamic of the relationship? Here's the first thing to understand. Silence creates intrigue. When you stop reaching out, your ex begins to notice your absence. Humans are naturally curious creatures. When someone goes silent, our minds instinctively fill the gaps. Why haven't they called? What are they doing? Have they moved on? That curiosity can become consuming. And the best part? You're doing nothing but focusing on yourself. Psychologically, silence disrupts expectations. If your ex expects you to reach out, apologize, or chase after them, your silence feels like a plot twist. Suddenly, you're not playing the role they expected you to play. This makes them question their assumptions about you, and that questioning often turns into reflection. They start thinking about what they've lost rather than what they've left behind. Silence also shifts the power dynamic. In any breakup, there's often a sense of imbalance. One person feels in control, while the other feels powerless. But when you stay silent, you level the playing field. You show that you're not dependent on their validation, that you're strong enough to walk away without begging for closure. This strength is magnetic, even if they don't admit it out loud. Now, let's bring in a Stoic principle. The obstacle is the way. The pain of silence might feel unbearable at first. You'll want to reach out, to break the tension, to say just one more thing. But that discomfort is the very thing that helps you grow. By leaning into the silence, you're training yourself to endure, to master your impulses, and to find strength in restraint. But silence isn't just about them. It's about you. It's a strategy for reclaiming your mental and emotional energy. Every time you choose silence, you're choosing to focus on your healing instead of their actions. You're redirecting your energy towards something productive rather than wasting it on someone who's no longer prioritizing you. And here's the beauty of it. Silence speaks louder than words. It sends a clear message. I don't need to explain myself. I don't need to prove my worth. My silence says everything that needs to be said. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below with the phrase, "My silence is my strategy." Declare that you're taking control of your narrative. And if you're finding this video helpful, take a moment to hit that like button. It's a simple act, but it helps spread this message to others who might need it. In the next section, we'll talk about how silence helps you master your emotions and become unshakable in the face of heartbreak. Let's keep going. Number 6. Mastering your emotions. Silence isn't just a tool to protect your dignity or shift the power dynamic. It's a practice of emotional mastery. After a breakup, your emotions can feel like a runaway train. Pain, anger, longing, they all rush in, demanding your attention. But here's the truth. Silence is how you regain control of that train. The Stoics taught us a profound principle. You cannot control external events, but you can control your response to them. And in the aftermath of a breakup, that response often determines whether you spiral into chaos or rise into clarity. Silence gives you the space to master your emotions instead of being a slave to them. When you go silent, you stop reacting impulsively. You resist the urge to send that late-night text or stalk their social media. You're no longer feeding your emotions with external triggers. Instead, you're creating a buffer between yourself and your pain, a space where you can observe your feelings without being overwhelmed by them. Think of silence as a form of emotional detox. In the noise of a breakup, your emotions are heightened and your judgment is clouded. But when you step back and embrace the quiet, you give yourself time to process what you're feeling. You start to understand the difference between what's real and what's simply the product of heightened emotions. Here's the key. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It's not about pretending you're fine when you're not. It's about allowing yourself to feel the pain without letting it control your actions. It's about saying, yes, I'm hurt, but I refuse to let that hurt dictate my next move. And let's not forget the psychological power this creates. Emotional mastery is rare. Most people let their feelings drive them, reacting to every pang of sadness or spark of anger. But when you stay silent, when you hold your ground, you send a powerful message. Not just to your ex, but to yourself. You're proving that you're in control, that you're unshakable, even in the face of heartbreak. Here's a practical tip. Use your silence to build emotional resilience. Journaling, meditation, or even simply sitting with your thoughts can help you process your feelings without acting on them. Reflect on what this experience is teaching you. What does it reveal about your needs, your boundaries, or the patterns you need to break? Remember, the person who can master their emotions can master any situation, and silence is the training ground for that mastery. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below that says, "I master my emotions, not the other way around." Let's make that declaration of strength together. And if you're finding this video valuable, don't forget to hit that like button. It not only supports this channel, but helps spread this message of resilience and growth. In the next section, we'll explore how to turn the pain of silence into the power that fuels your transformation. Stay tuned. It's about to get even deeper. Number 7. Turning pain into power. Pain after a breakup is inevitable, but here's the secret. Pain is also your greatest teacher. The difference between those who crumble under heartbreak and those who rise from it lies in one simple choice: what you do with that pain. And silence? Silence is the fertile ground where pain can transform into power. The Stoics believed in a concept called amor fati, the love of one's fate. It's the idea that everything, even the painful moments, happens for a reason, and can be turned into something valuable. Silence gives you the space to practice this. When you stop chasing closure or trying to fix what's broken, you begin to see the lessons hidden within the pain. Here's the first lesson. Pain reveals your strength. You've already survived what you thought would break you. Every silent day you endure without reaching out is proof of your resilience. That strength doesn't come from avoiding the pain. It comes from facing it head-on and saying, I may feel broken, but I'm still here, and I'm going to rebuild. The second lesson. Pain fuels growth. In the quiet of your silence, you have the opportunity to reflect deeply on yourself. What patterns led to the breakup? Were there red flags you ignored? Did you lose sight of your boundaries or your self-worth? These aren't questions to torment yourself with, they're tools for growth. The pain you feel now can become the foundation for a stronger, wiser version of you. Silence also shifts your perspective. In the heat of a breakup, your emotions scream for immediate relief. Text them, fix it, go back. But when you stay silent, you give yourself the gift of time. Time to see the situation clearly. Time to realize that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's validation. And with that clarity comes freedom. But here's the twist. Silence doesn't just transform your pain. It magnifies your power in the eyes of others. When you endure heartbreak with grace and restraint, people notice. Your ex notices. Your friends notice. And most importantly, you notice. You start to see yourself as someone who doesn't just survive pain, but thrives in spite of it. So how do you turn pain into power? It starts with intention. Every time you feel the urge to break your silence, ask yourself, what am I hoping to achieve? And is this action aligned with the person I want to become? Use that pain as a compass, pointing you toward your growth instead of back to the source of your hurt. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments by writing, I turn my pain into power. Let's remind ourselves and each other that heartbreak is not the end. It's the beginning of transformation. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that like button. Your support helps this channel spread messages of strength, resilience, and self-mastery. In the next section, we'll talk about the ultimate Stoic principle of detachment and why letting go is the ultimate act of freedom. You won't want to miss it. Number 8. Detachment is freedom. Letting go. It's a phrase we hear all the time, but what does it really mean? After a breakup, detachment can feel impossible. Your mind clings to memories, to what-ifs, to the hope that maybe things will go back to the way they were. But here's the truth. Detachment isn't about forgetting or erasing the past. It's about freeing yourself from it. The Stoics believed in a concept called non-attachment. They taught that nothing in life, no person, no possession, no outcome, truly belongs to us. Everything is temporary, and the sooner we accept this, the sooner we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Silence is how you practice this principle. When you stay silent, you're not just creating distance from your ex, you're creating emotional distance from the need for their validation. You're saying, I am enough, whether you're in my life or not. That's the power of detachment. It shifts your focus from what you've lost to what you still have. Your strength, your self-worth, your ability to rebuild. But detachment isn't about apathy. It doesn't mean you don't care about your ex or the relationship you shared. It means you care more about your own peace. When you let go, you're not giving up. You're choosing freedom over fixation. Here's where silence becomes transformative. Every day you choose not to reach out, you're rewiring your brain. You're breaking the habit of seeking comfort from someone who is no longer part of your path. Instead, you're learning to find that comfort within yourself. That's not weakness, it's the ultimate form of strength. And let's not overlook the psychological power of detachment. When you stop clinging, you stop radiating neediness. People are drawn to confidence, and nothing is more confident than someone who doesn't chase. Detachment isn't just about you moving forward, it also shifts how others perceive you. Think about it this way: the more you hold on, the tighter your grip, the more you suffer. But when you let go, you make room for new opportunities, new growth, and new peace. Silence is your tool for creating that space. Detachment is freedom. It's freedom from overthinking, from the endless cycle of what if, from tying your happiness to someone else's actions. It's the realization that your life is still whole, even without them in it. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments by writing, "I let go to grow." Let this be your mantra, a reminder that detachment isn't loss, it's liberation. And if you're finding value in this message, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps this channel grow and allows us to reach more people on their journey to strength and freedom. In the next and final section, we'll bring it all together, showing you how silence becomes your superpower, the ultimate act of self-respect and transformation. Let's finish strong. Number 9. Silence is your superpower. We've come full circle, and now it's time to tie everything together. Silence isn't just a tactic, it's your superpower. It's not just about how you respond to a breakup. It's about how you rebuild yourself, reclaim your energy, and transform your life. Think about everything we've covered. Silence helps you detox from emotional chaos, regain your dignity, and master your emotions. It shifts the power dynamic, creating intrigue and forcing your ex, and even yourself, to confront a new reality. It turns pain into power, and through detachment, it gives you the ultimate gift: freedom. But let's get one thing clear. Silence isn't about pretending you don't care. It's not about playing games or seeking revenge. It's about strength. True silence isn't empty, it's full of purpose. It's saying, "I'm not running from the pain. I'm sitting with it, learning from it, and growing beyond it." Here's why silence is so powerful. It's an act of self-respect. It shows that you value your peace more than you value external validation. It says, "I choose to focus on myself, not someone who has chosen to leave." This isn't just Stoicism, it's self-love. Silence also turns you into a mystery, not just to your ex, but to the world. When you stop explaining yourself, stop over-communicating, and simply exist in your own power, you become magnetic. People are drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin, who don't need to shout their worth to be seen. And here's the final takeaway. Silence gives you back the one thing no one can ever replace: your energy. Breakups can drain you emotionally, mentally, and even physically. But when you stop pouring that energy into someone else, you can redirect it toward your own healing and growth. Imagine what you could achieve if you focused all that energy on yourself. So the next time you feel the urge to reach out or break your silence, remember this: every moment of silence is a moment of strength. Every day you stay silent, you're choosing yourself. You're saying, "I am enough." If this message has resonated with you, let me know in the comments by writing, "My silence is my superpower." Let that phrase be your mantra, your declaration of strength, and if you haven't already, hit that like button. It's a simple act, but it helps this community grow and brings more people into this journey of resilience and transformation. Finally, if you found value in this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel, Stoic Blessing, is dedicated to helping you grow stronger, wiser, and more unshakable. Together, we're building a community of people who refuse to settle for anything less than their best selves. Thank you for watching. Remember, your silence isn't weakness, it's power. It's the foundation for your comeback, the starting point for your transformation. Stay strong, stay silent, and stay focused on your growth. Until next time.